Monsters pickups videos. This is pretty much basically my pickups video of September. Today's video is going to have a lot of games from old to new consoles. I'm going to go really quick over it because apparently my freaking camera decided not to record over a lot of the stuff I did earlier. So I'm going to probably rush a little bit because it's kind of getting late and I go to like to go to bed because my freaking camera decided not to record, so I'm a little irritated at it. So basically the first console I'll be starting off with is N64. This one game is a game that I played a lot on PS1 and have not played it that much on 64. Bugs Life. There will not be any gameplay footage for the 64 or any of the older consoles, majorly because I didn't have the ability to record on them, especially 64. It does not record on my capture card, so I apologize. Hopefully there'll be other videos with, hopefully I'll have other videos out later on with the ability to record my 64. Just right now it's just not working. Yeah, basically A Bug's Life for the 64. It's a very fun game. If you've not played it, it's just a platformer by Disney and Pixar. It's published by Activision. It's probably been made by Activision, I don't know. Sometimes they are developed by Pixar, sometimes they are developed by third party. What I played of it is just pretty much you play through the entire levels of different parts of the movie, and you just collect things like any other platformer back in that day. If you have not played a platformer of those times, I totally recommend trying them out. Specifically games like Rugrat for PS1 or Mario 64, which is very fun for the 64. I actually have another platformer for the 64 to recommend, and that is Glover for the 64. I think it's also available on PS1 too, but you basically play a glove that's going after another evil glove because, again, I think you're basically a glove for a wizard, so the other glove turns evil, and you pretty much basically have to find a way to, I guess it's capturing the other glove or defeat it pretty much before it does anything worse than what it does, and you basically use a ball to help you solve platforming puzzles. It's a very fun game. If you can get it, I totally recommend trying it out. I know there are some people that hates it, but what I always play of it, it's a pretty fun game. Next one is Hard Driven for Sega Genesis, and it's a 3D racing game for the Genesis game, which I never knew there was actually games for that. Which I kind of apologize for my stupidity on the Genesis. I just never knew that there were actually 3D racing games on there, because I always thought that it was basically similar to like the NES, basically, because you never really see. I don't think there is any 3D games because for the NES. I think after the NES, the Super NES actually had like a special chip in certain cartridges that would do 3D, but basically this. I don't know if there's any special chip in this. I know this was just like $5 off of eBay. Very surprised by the gameplay. It's very fun. Only bad thing is it only runs at 15 frames. Probably not even that. Probably like 5 frames per second sometimes. It's fun crashing your car and just seeing the pretty much the reload of it, and it's just like showing your car crashing over just like little jumps. It's super freaking hilarious. It's very unique game so far what I've seen. If it's a known game, let me know in the comments. This is like the first time I've ever heard of it by just randomly going by eBay. It's like, it's $5, let's try it and put it in my pickups video. Now the next Genesis games is, and I totally recommend these if you do collect for Genesis. I know there are other people that recommend it too, and then there's some that probably don't. I know that there is this one guy, I can't remember his YouTuber's name, but basically he doesn't like Sonic games, but he has a complete collection of Sega Genesis and stuff like that. He doesn't really care for the Sonic games. I thought that was weird. But basically, Sonic 1 and 2 for the Genesis. I actually prefer Sonic 2 over Sonic 1, mainly because it improves a lot of the stuff, and I feel like Sonic 2 is probably shows what Sonic's supposed to be going fast. While Sonic 1 was, obviously it's the first game and they're trying to experiment and they have platforming, so they're just like trying to make him Mario a little bit. But I do prefer Sonic 2 over 1. If you get a chance to play these games, these are basically released on everything imaginable just about now. I don't think you can play it on current consoles, but they'll probably be ported over. I think you can play it on Xbox One through backwards compatibility, so you can play them on the current one, at least one current one. Now moving on to PS3, some of these I got from GameStop because they were going on with like a special deal for the Pro members, and it was like buy 4 for $30, which I'll go through these games real quick. So basically, these are all 4 games that I got for $30 from GameStop. First one up, Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. Very fun game. If you've not played it, totally recommend it. It's very cheap now. I know there's a big complaint about it being over 4 hours. I know if you play it in harder difficulty, it's a little bit longer. It does get repetitive, and it doesn't change a lot of the enemies, which kind of sucks. But other than that, it's a very decent game. It's got a very good story though. And so far, what I've played of it, I haven't beat it. I beat the first one on the 360. I actually got that up for the PS3. If you've not known, is I've actually am currently moving over back to Sony for a lot of their games. So I'm buying a lot of their older games that I've had on 360 on PS3 now because I just want to convert over and try to get all of the trophies, or at least platinum. Try to at least platinum most of them when I can. This game I might try to platinum if it's super easy, I don't know. It's kind of like basically like God of War though. If you're a fan of God of War, you might enjoy this. But you know, less variety though. At least God of War, it switches up at the very end, or at least middle. But here's Battlefield Hardline. Have not played through it fully. I'm a fan of the Battlefield games. This one's okay. It seems as it's not as good as the other ones. I feel a little bit. It's basically Battlefield 4 reskinned with cops and robbers, basically. Probably mostly going to try to play through the campaign, and then probably the rest of the multiplayer if I can. I probably won't plan on getting this on PS4 later on, because by the time I get it for PS4, the community will probably be dead on it. The next one is Mafia 2. If you have not played the Mafia series, I totally recommend this game. If you're a fan of Godfather or Godfather games, which I've only played the games of Godfather, I've not seen the movie, which I know, I got to see them so far because I enjoy Godfather 1. It's a very fun game. I love the story, so if the movies are just like that, I'm probably going to love them anyways. But Mafia 2 is just basically a Godfather game with you following basically Vito going through struggles, joining the Mafia and stuff like that. The very end it's a very sad ending in this game. I'm not going to spoil it here, but I totally recommend checking this game out because it's super fun. I'm just about 100% on 360, but not since I got on PS3, I'm actually going to go forward and play this on hard difficulty, collecting all the collectibles, which are playable in magazines, which I might add. And it's got a good combat. It has a way better combat system than the new one that they have. I just don't like the combat. I'm probably going to try to beat this before I do Mafia 3. But if you can get your hands on Mafia 2, I totally recommend playing through this because it's a very fantastic story. Last one of the GameStop deal that I got is Alien Isolation. It was pretty fun. It was pretty creepy. There was a glitch, which I'm going to show right here in this part. Pretty much the guy gets like frozen or something like that. I guess his AI bugs out. I do gotta admit though, that I did play this without patching this game. I skipped the patch so I could just go ahead and get some gameplay footage, and I didn't realize that would affect me. So I don't know if that's just a bug that was just at the beginning of the game, but once you patch it, it'll fix it. I'd have to see later on. But what I played of it though was fun. I did get confused for about 40 minutes because of a hatch. I didn't realize there was a hatch that opened up where I think it was an alien showed up or something like that. But basically this hatch, I walked around and kept on missing it. It was freaking hilarious. I'm glad I wasn't doing a let's play on this because it would have been just 40 minutes of me wasting time trying to figure out where I was supposed to go. But it's so far what I enjoyed what I played. I'm hoping to look forward to seeing what else is in store for Ripley's daughter. I had not really watched the movies for the Alien series, just like Godfather, which is kind of funny too. I've seen all the Alien vs. Predator, which I've heard a lot of the Aliens and Predator fans. Well, I don't know about the Predator fans. I know the Aliens fans does not like the Alien Predator movies as much. I do like the first one. The second one I didn't really care for that much, but the first one is probably my favorite Predator Aliens movie anyways. I've seen Prometheus, which I know is a lot of people didn't like. I didn't really care for it either. Like I said, I had to watch through the first two movies, which I heard is the best in the Alien series. Okay, these two games I got because of Agents of Mayhem came out. First one, Saints Row 3rd, totally fun game. I got the full package, which includes all the DLC. Very fantastic gameplay. Okay story, not as good as the second one. I feel like the second one has the best story about all of them. Even the first one might a little bit overtop this one, but the second one is the best in story. Gameplay wise, this is better. If you can get a chance to pick it up, I totally recommend it. It's basically the gang, pretty much the Saints have, instead of basically being small-time gangsters anymore, they're now big entrepreneurs. They're basically selling sodas and sneakers, and it's pretty fun. They just pretty much basically have to go up this big gang that pretty much is like a bigger corporation that's of a bunch of criminals. They're basically trying to force them to pretty much work with them. But you know, as it goes, is the Saints is not going to be pretty much be pushed over or joined into other gangs. They're going to pretty much kick ass and take over territory, just like in this one. But it's a very fun game. Totally recommend picking it up. But the other game though, nah, like I said, I got this because of Agent Mayhem. I wanted to replay through Saints Row 4 and see if it was any good. I got the pretty much basically the Game of the Year edition, or whatever version you want to call it. It's basically what National Treasures edition. Saints Row 4, the story sucks. I'm not gonna lie. It tries to be badass because it's like, oh, you become president, oh, the Earth gets invaded, oh, the Earth gets destroyed. Spoilers alert, because I don't give a damn about this game. The gameplay's fantastic. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's fun to go on rooftops to rooftops, jumping and gliding through the air. It's a fun superhero gameplay. Even Johnny Gat does that, but Johnny Gat feels a little like it's repetitive a little bit. But this one though, if you like superhero games, this is probably going to be fun. Just don't play it if you're interested in the story, because you're not going to get much out of the story with this one. Now we're jumping to the Wii. This one is a very fun game, Batman Arkham Origins. I totally recommend this game. I do not get why it gets so much hate. It's a very fun game. It's even got a better story, at least in my opinion, has a better story than Arkham Knight, because Deathstroke, even though I know everybody, I even complain about it a little bit too, that you do fight Deathstroke a little bit too early, because they did advertise you would be fighting Deathstroke. That was like the biggest thing about this game was, oh, you finally get to fight Deathstroke. This is going to be this epic battle between Batman versus Deathstroke. And they didn't even mention the Joker until like later on in some of the materials with spoiler Jokers in this game. But I didn't really mind that. I felt like this is, like I said, is like, especially with Deathstroke's story, like, you had to fight him, like, probably in, like, he's probably the first boss you fight. But the thing about that is, though, is Deathstroke's fight is way better than in this than it is in Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight screws up a boss fights all the time in that game, and it sucks. Like, all the boss fights are just end up being tank fights, while this one, its major crime was, and I do admit that the combat system is a little bit worse because they, like when you try to counter, it doesn't accurately counter right. And there were some bugs at launch, specifically one where you couldn't even get through this tower to disable this Riddler tower that was like interfering with your fast traveling. But other than that, the game worked perfectly fine for me. I totally recommend picking it up. It's available on Xbox One through the backwards compatibility, and you can get it on PS3, 360, and PC. If you can get any version of it, I totally recommend it. It's a very fun game. It's not a bad Batman Arkham game. They did not make a bad one. I felt like there wasn't that many bugs that everybody was complaining. And the thing about it is, people want to say about this game not working on PC at launch, look at the Arkham Knight series. It was freaking worse, and that was by Rocksteady. This game wasn't even by Rocksteady. I felt like Warner Brothers Interactive has had some solid PC ports. I mean, look at, you know, Shadow Mordor. When I got that, I had a crappy AMD PC that was able to run it at medium settings, which I was very surprised. I was like, this game's super optimized. And then you look at Mad Max, that had no problems. I mean, I feel like Warner Brothers Interactive knows how to optimize their games. So if you want to say anything, at least they had their Batman game running at decent frame rates and not crashing all the time. At least in my experience, because I did pre-order Batman Arkham Origins at launch, which I know is a no-no. But I didn't really pre-order it. I just basically bought somebody's little graphics card code for like 30 bucks off of eBay. So at least I didn't directly pay as much as other people, and it was very fun at launch. Okay, time for the last bit of my pickups. Basically, I got Agents of Mayhem, which I've already talked in a Let's Try. It's a very fun game. It does get repetitive. So far what I play the story is not as bad as you know, Johnny Gat or Saints Row 4. I totally recommend getting in this game, but not at full price. I paid 60 bucks for this. Kind of a little bit regret it. I would rather if I pay for 30 or 20 bucks for this. Totally recommend getting this at a discount. Probably at the holidays, they will probably have this game for $20 or $30. And as you can see right now, you can probably see some of the gameplay footage that I've already reused for that video. But if you get a chance, totally recommend picking this up at $20, $30. Next game's up, Assassin's Creed Unity. A game that got pretty much hated on when it first released, for obviously good reasons because of the bugs. It's actually playable now. When I played on Xbox One though, and I actually beat it completely through there, it did have a few bugs, but what I've played of it recently is it seems like they patched a lot of those bugs out, and it's more stable on PlayStation 4 Pro if you have one. Basically you know, like it had a lot more characters on screen at once, especially in Assassin's Creed Syndicate kind of did a similar thing, but they toned down how many people were on screen. But with this one, they went too crazy with it, so it made it frames drop pretty badly. And then on top of that, you know, there was like that person's like see through their face and stuff, like the really facial glitches and stuff like that. But the game lets you play as this guy named Arno. It's a very fun game. Arno's freaking awesome. He's like Ezio a little bit. He pretty much basically has a trash story. His father gets killed by basically somebody from Assassin's Creed Rogue. That guy from there, I can't remember his name, but if you play Rogue, I totally recommend playing Rogue before you play this, because you won't understand why his father got killed if you didn't. But if you only got a PS4, just go ahead straight play Unity, because Unity does not explain why his father gets killed. Rogue does though. But like I said, is like you can get this now for about probably 10-20 bucks. If you get it for that, it's a steal. And on top of that, they got a full expansion game. They also got like a full expansion that's free. That's after you beat the game and you get like new weapons and stuff like that. So it's totally worth it. The next one is Need for Speed. This is a freaking fun game. I wasn't expecting that from this Need for Speed game, because in my opinion, Need for Speed has dropped prior games from this. They set the franchise pretty low on the bar for them, because you know, after like some of the previous Need for Speeds, it just hasn't been the same. But with this game, it's freaking awesome. They have FMV videos, and they make it kind of feel like you're playing Fast and the Furious video game movie. Not the recent ones, which I haven't seen those, but well, I've seen some of them. I've seen 7 recently, but comparing them to them, it's like they're not good as the originals, because You know, Fast and Furious was originally about racing. Now it's just like them doing pretty much Mission Impossible crap. But like I said, those Need for Speed feels like a Fast and Furious game with those FMV videos. I love that. I love games when they have FMV videos, and specifically when they do it well. And this one pretty much does it well. It's got a little bit of corniness and all that type of stuff, but also the cars look freaking realistic. The graphics is amazing in this game. I love the graphics. And you know, and I'm kind of excited now for the new one to see how that plays out. I know the newer one's going to be kind of like the new Fast and the Furious movies, because basically you're doing special stuff like that, but that makes sense with this, because you know you can do other stuff. But it's a very fun game, totally recommend it. If you can pick this up for like 10-20 bucks, it's totally worth it. It's a very fun game. You do have to be connected to online all the time, I think, which sucks. Why EA? Why do we need to be connected 24/7? What if my internet goes out for one day and I'm playing this, and I can't play this, and I gotta go pick up another game and play by somebody else? Hell, I could probably play Forza offline. You know, you don't want to be competing with Forza. That's like one of my favorite franchises. Next one is Resident Evil Revelations. That's right, Revelations got re-released on PS4, Xbox One. It's basically the PC version on them. If you've not played Resident Evil Revelations, it's basically Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5 combined. They are very fun games. This is a very fun game. Resident Evil 5 and 4 is also fun games. 5 for different reasons. If you have a co-op partner, totally play through that with a co-op partner. Do not play that by yourself, because just like 6, it's not fun playing by yourself. But yeah, the Resident Evil 4 elements in Revelations is probably the best parts of these games. When you're playing 5, you cannot play with a co-op partner, so it kind of sucks. And it's got too many action parts through those parts. And it mostly is Chris that you play as, filling through the RE5 levels. But when you're playing Jill Valentine's, it feels like a Resident Evil game. The ending is super freaking tough, so make sure you try to collect every type of weapon attachment or add-ons to them as you go through the story, because when you get to the very end, you will be fighting one tough boss. But I recommend this game. It's very fun. If you like any of the, if you like 4 and 5 specifically, you will enjoy this game. Like I said, the boss is super hard. It took me about 2 hours or 3 hours on the 360 to play this. Now the last one is Mortal Kombat XL. Now, if you've not played a Mortal Kombat game, specifically in a while, they have changed the mechanics up with this game. This is the best Mortal Kombat game, I feel, out of all the series. This is my favorite one. If only they would have added Freddy instead of Leatherface, because it was kind of a missed opportunity. They already did the Predator and Alien, which they're in this, so you got Alien versus Predator. But now they just got Jason Voorhees versus Leatherface, which I did not want to see. I want to see Jason versus Freddy. Those are two badasses I'd rather see. Hell, you could have put Michael in there. I would have been fine with that more than Leatherface. I mean, I don't really give a damn about Leatherface. He's not even one of my favorite horror icons. Michael, Jason, Freddy, and you have to put Chucky on there. But other than that, it's like, why the hell Leatherface? Nobody wanted Leatherface. I know a lot of people said they didn't want Leatherface on here. But it's a very fun game. It has, I got the XL version, so it has all the DLC. Totally recommend getting the XL version if you can. It should be like 20-30 bucks now. I got mine for 20, so it should be like straight up 20. Get this over the regular X version. Do not get the X version. Get the XL. Just make sure you look at it. It has Sub-Zero on it, as you can see. It's XL. But yeah, that's all my. That's all I picked up this past month. I actually have more games, but I kind of pushed it over to October now because of some of them are mostly just VR games, and then some of them I just basically got like this past few days ago. I just didn't have time to record gameplay footage because I wanted to try to have most of these games have footage with them while I talk over them. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy these types of videos. I also have a Twitter account and a Patreon, which I hope my Patreon is showing up. Right now, as recording is like YouTube recently changed their agreement plans with people with their monetizing stuff. Luckily, I joined up a long time ago, so I might not have to go through this type of issue, but I might also have to go through this issue when this video gets uploaded. So who knows? maybe there'll be a Patreon account out there. If not, that's fine. I'm currently not doing this for money, but if you would like to join my Patreon account, it should be down there below, and if you donate $1, you will get your name in my credits when I start it, basically. I'm just waiting until somebody puts $1 in there, I'll put it as a credit. Right now I'm not doing it because I have 0 people, so I'm not going to start a credit, just basically hashtagging me throughout the entire credit, because basically that'd be stupid.